Okay, so I'm here with Mr. Aaron Mcdonald, who's recently, as you've all seen, is part of Team Ireland on the Oktagon channel. It's a fantastic show. I really love it. He fought on the introductory episode. Before this, I was talking to him. He was supposed to fight Maga. This opportunity came along. First of all, I want to congratulate you on getting this opportunity. And how did this come about? Like, because obviously we were excited for you fighting Maga, and then all of a sudden you were taken off the card, and then we got word of this. How did this come true to you, and what was your emotions and feelings when it was offered to you?
Yeah, I was supposed to fight Maga, and I think I was about 8 weeks out of the Maga fight, maybe a bit more. I'm not too sure. Actually, no, I think it might have been less, maybe 8 to 6 weeks or whatever. So I was just starting camp. Well, I was training in a way, like, but I was starting to really do sort of my training for Maga. And then I was out on a Friday night watching my mate play football. And I got a call and says, "Do you want to do a TV show, MMA reality TV show in 3 weeks?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." You know what I mean? He's like, "But you have to be in weight. You have to be 70 kilo. You have to be ready to make 70 kilo in 3 weeks." And I was going, "Oh Jesus, right, okay, let's do it." So, obviously, as a football match, there's a burger man. I'm sitting there with a burger in my hand, so I had to put that down. But yeah, so I got the call. Sebastian, my coach, he got the call. The ask about me and if I wanted to be if I was interested in doing the show. And I was like, yeah, let's go. This is going to be a great opportunity. And obviously, it was for Team Ireland to get to represent Ireland. It was like there was no question and no hesitation in saying yes. So yeah, they phoned me up. The Pavel, the Octagon promoter owner, he rang me and was like, "Look, we just want to do a sort of type of not like an interview type thing. Just rang me and asked me what was the crack with me." And yeah, they were like, "Right, let's definitely get you on the show." And they were loving me. So yeah, 3 weeks later, I was getting a plane to Slovakia.
Wow, this is not the first time you were supposed to be in Slovakia as well. Because I remember Marek Herda from Titan Flight Night.
Yes,
He really wanted you over because when we went over with Mag at that time,
that's right.
he was like Aaron. He's like Aaron. I want Aaron here. Aaron's so much good fighter. Joe,
Yeah.
so like that. So this when you got the call and when you went over, when did you find out who your teammates were going to be as well?
Well, like I'll be honest with you, there's a few rumors going about and stuff, and I sort of got a wee heads up that my good pal Dennis was gonna be on it. But like me and him, after our fight before in the amateurs, we had actually got talking and became quite friendly with each other. So I hit him up a message and found out that he was there, and then I sort of really didn't know who else was going to be there. Didn't know anything about Team England or anything like that. But yeah, so as soon as I got actually when I got to the airport, I actually seen Matt Elliott because me and him were getting the same flight over, and they were like, "Yeah, you doing this Octagon challenge? Yeah, I'm doing this." Actually, no, he was sitting behind me in the plane, so I hadn't seen him actually until I didn't know he was on it. And then next thing I know, I turned around, it was Matt Elliott sitting behind me with the cauliflower ears. And I was like, "You're going on the Octagon challenge?" He's like, "Yeah, going on it." And I was like, "Yeah, this is going to be some crack." So and then we pulled up. We got the Slovakia, and then that's when I seen Armand and Dennis, and I think we seen the Team England there that day as well. So yeah, basically it was all just sort of bang, like because I was only 3 weeks notice on the show. Like it was all pretty. Everything happened really fast for me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't until the day really, except Dennis, that I only knew he was going to be on the teams, and it was you couldn't have picked a better bunch of lads like for Team Ireland, like Armin, Matt, and Dennis. Like we all got on like a house on fire. And what the funny thing was as well, we all were able to have a bit of crack with each other. Like we were all slagging each other and stuff as well, and we had each other's backs as well. And if anything went down, we were ready to jump in. Like so, you couldn't have asked for a better bunch of lads. I'll say that. And then for the coaches as well, you couldn't ask for two better coaches. So yeah, it's what, see, when you look at it and look back at it, it's like it was all meant to be. All them people, all those people it was all meant to be in a way. You know what I mean? I don't think you could have got a better group of lads in terms of the way we all got on and the different characters, if you know what I mean. Like we all were different in our own way. So yeah, it was good to be with them lads, and it was good to be coached by the Paddy Houlihan and Shamrock. So yeah, it was all quick. It just was like it was a mad like couple of weeks for me as well, just having to get ready for it as well. Like I was I was heavy 3 weeks out, like, you know what I mean? And then, it was like, I'll be honest, yeah, I was basically cutting weight for 2 weeks before it, like, you know what I mean? I was out in the sweatsuit running for about 2 weeks before it. But we got there.
Yeah, you did get there. And like that, it was a fantastic opportunity. You were never going to say no to it. So even though you
No.
were heavy, you'd done all the right steps to get there. You touched on obviously Jem and Paddy. Did you only find out they were your coaches when you got there, or did you know in advance?
No, I didn't. I hadn't a clue I had a clue who was going to be our coaches. I think on the way over, like where they were saying it was going to be Paddy and stuff, it was going to be Paddy. I didn't have a clue it was going to be Shamrock. And yeah, so when we got there, I think was it on the I can't even remember, but I think on the second day, we met our coaches and stuff. But obviously with the first episode and stuff. So yeah, in the first episode, we found out who the coaches were, and yeah, it was a surprise because obviously Paddy's a legend and Shamrock's a legend himself as well, and so finding out on the first episode, because I think I was literally when because we sort of had we thought we had an idea, but as you see in the first episode, we got to see that it was the Paddy and Sham, and you couldn't ask for two better people to coach Team Ireland. So, yeah, it was a privilege to be under them.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. Paddy's a legend, and Shem is a legend in the making with his story and
Yes,
skill set. That's why I'm surprised that Octagon are doing a very good job, and that's what they're doing with this show. They do a very good job of telling stories. I was saying this the other day. Whereas the UFC are very good at telling stories. You could get two prelim fighters fighting on the main event, and you'd be interested. And Octagon are able to tell those stories with the production and the storytelling. I think they're fantastic. But when you walked in first, right, because the facility with the cage and all your equipment looks savage. What was it like? Because I remember now when you walked in, you were front and center. That's
front
what.
and center, right?
How did it feel seeing yourself up there?
Yeah, it was mad, mate. Like, because the first thing is you don't know what to expect. So we walked in that big facility. You had no how can I say, like, I wasn't trying to expect anything or like try and imagine all the things that were going to happen. I was just trying to go into this show and this situation just with an open mind, sort of. I wasn't like, oh, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that. So when I even seen the pictures on the wall, you're going, this is nuts. Like, you know what I mean? What's going on here? My posters on the wall here and all, and then and you're looking at yourself going, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And then the facility that we were in, like there was a wee coffee bar and all, we side bit and all, and obviously the cage, there was fitness equipment, there was the mats. You had everything, and then you had all the pictures of all the boys all around the place, and it was just, it was it was just a mad experience because, like, as I said, you didn't have it, and like I didn't expect. It was all a big surprise in a way. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best way to be. Like, people say about, like, about fighting and all, and that they're thinking about the fight every day and what they're going to do and what they're going to do. So I even think when you do that to yourself, see, when you go and do it, it doesn't feel as good. So like if you just let it be, I think that's the best way to be. So like when I was walking into that facility and all with no expectation, and you're seeing all that shit, you go, fuck me, I'm front and center and all this bollocks. And then obviously what happens to me at the end of the episode, you're just going, oh, fuck's sake, lad, like, you know what I mean? And then and then you see all that. But yeah, mate, it was just great, man. It was great to be in that facility, and you couldn't ask for any more, like.
No, you couldn't. It looked fantastic, and even when you got to the house, it was full of protein bars. It had all the food you needed. It was absolutely like they didn't spare any expense. They had everything you needed.
No.
There was one thing I wanted to touch on that you touched on actually. With the guy, yourself and the guys, like I said, you couldn't go over with a good bunch of lads. You felt like it was meant to be the way you all ended up together. It was mad how well you gel compared to Team England, because in the episodes we've seen so far, obviously we can't go any further here, but the episodes we've seen, especially the first one, it was Team England and Hassan then against G, and I noticed, like, I would know ye from like you, Matthew, Armand, and I would consider like Armand quite quiet, Joe quite reserved when I talk to him, but that's obviously I would have a different relationship with him because it's like a media and a fighter.
Yeah.
But you all got in on the action. I was like, this is going to be Dennis just talking shit. And then it was everybody talking. Like, it was if someone said something to your teammate, you were straight in. Is that an Irish thing, do you think, the way you bonded so quickly?
Yeah, I think it is an Irish thing, even just on like with your mates and all, just back home or whatever, like, it's all a bit of crack. Like, even with my mates back home, like, you can't get away with anything, you know what I mean? You say something and someone's on your back, oh, Jesus. Even the group chats and everything. So, like, I think it's just an Irish thing as well, you know what I mean? So, when we all went over there, like, even when we all met each other on the first day in the hotel, just before we went to the villas and stuff, and before all that stuff, um, like, we were all buying, handshaking, clapping, all a bit of crack and everything, and that's just when it started. And but we knew we had to have each other's back. We were in a house with four other English lads. We weren't going to let Ireland down, and we weren't going to let Team Ireland down. We weren't going to let each other down, ourselves down. So we made sure that we had each other's back. And as I said, it's an Irish thing. We made sure that we had each other's back, and we weren't going to let anyone walk over us. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's where it just all came from. And the crack was class. And as I said, the boys, that the characters of all of us, like, it all gelled very well. And as I said, man, no one was gonna let anyone talk shit to us. Like, you know what I mean? We weren't gonna let that Team England talk shit. So you'll see with more of the episodes how we actually even became more of a brotherhood in a sense. And yeah, it was Team England didn't seem like they had that brotherhood. But look, this is Ireland. We're Irish boys, and we made sure we stuck by each other and stuck together. And you can clearly see that within the first two episodes.
Yeah, it was evident from the very start. And the other English guys seemed very reserved, the likes of Jake, George Staines, Bo, and then obviously Hassan and Dennis. That's a collision course waiting to happen, because I've seen little clips of trailers and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
Octagon go out, so I know that fight's coming, and I can't wait for that fight, because
It might not be. It might not be coming. You never know. Things can
oh,
change.
this is true. Well, it looked like it was those two fighting. Anyways, I don't know, because I said it to Dennis and he was like, "No, I can't tell you." But
I don't know. I don't know either. You're just gonna have to wait and see,
no,
baby boy.
I want it, because when everyone kind of got back, I was like, I want this. I want all this to be a surprise. I don't. I want, because
Yeah.
if I knew what was going to happen at the end, why would I watch this whole thing and ruin it for me?
Yeah.
I'm invested in yourself, Armin, Dennis, Matthew, because of like what I do on the regional scene. So like, for me, this is really interesting. I'm getting to see ye in your element in there. But
Yeah.
we'll go towards obviously the fight. You lost the challenge, and then
Yep.
obviously they got the pick. And one of the theories was, I think it was from Dennis, was, do you reckon they picked you? Did you come in, because you had said obviously you were coming in a bit heavy? Were you noticeably heavy? Do you think they noticed? Do you think that's why they picked you, or did they just fancy that matchup for their fighter? Do you reckon?
I think it's a bit of both, Davey. No, I do. I think it's a bit of both. Obviously, I think they were going to try and pick out the two big lads before anything. And that was the bigger lads, obviously, because Armin and Manny have fought in a lower weight class before. So I think they seen that between me and Dennis, and they seen that me I'm not gonna say, like, I don't know what Brad's thinking was, but I do you know what, man? I knew I was gonna get picked first. I just had it in the back of my mind, because I knew the weight cut that I had to do. And it wasn't a mad weight cut on the day, like, because I was just trying to cut so much. Like, I didn't really eat any carbs for about 2 weeks. So I was going in there depleted, but like, I just knew I was gonna get fought. I was gonna get picked first. But I think Brad was very strategic in his pickings, as you can see in the first two episodes. Um, so I think that they just go for me, but they might have seen it a good matchup for Bo, and obviously it was a good matchup because Bo won. But yeah, I think that they were going to look to pick the between me and Dennis first, but they picked me, obviously. And it went the way it went. And you know, there's nothing we can do. We just have to roll on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I was going to get onto the fight as well, because you came in and you were looking very good with the knees, and you were going hell for leather. And anyone that's watched you kind of over here, you're usually more clinical, not more clinical, but you kind of wait a bit more. You rushed in. Was
Yeah.
there any reason for that? Like, because
Yeah.
when it
Well,
looked like he could potentially fit, it looked like if you would have kept going with the knees, it looked like he could have dropped. Did you just
yeah.
get overexcited once you seen they were hurting him?
Yeah. I blew the load, as they say. I felt I landed a few knees. Like, so, don't get me wrong, a few of the knees were hitting his arms and stuff, but I think I landed like two clean knees, and then I was like, oh shit, I've got him. And as I says, like, I was down for that knockout on those cameras for the TV show and stuff, and I think that's what happened to me. Like, obviously, that's a big mistake on my side. I should have been clinical, and I should have took my time and be patient. And obviously, it was the first fight of my 5 minute fight for me as well. So, I needed to take my time and stuff. But yeah, when at the very start, I tried to take his head off, and yeah, it went totally against me, and I think that's what happened. I blew my load, and yeah, just sort of it went all downhill from then. But look, at the end of the day, man, there's no excuses. Bo was the better man on that day, and I can't really say anything else than that because you know I've had my time to think about the fight. I had the time over there in the house while Bo was eating breakfast beside me the next day, so I've had to already deal with this fight, a long time ago, and yeah, it was a mad thing as well, like having to deal with that. But apart from that, like yeah, the first round was just one of them things where I went out and tried to take his head off in the first round. Not what I do, as you can see, as you said, like it's not the I'm usually more patient, but when those TV cameras and all there, I was like, yeah, first episode, I'm gonna go and take his head off and go and make a statement. And it went the opposite direction. It went the opposite way. So but look, man, like I as I said, these are all lessons, and you know, obviously I wasn't happy about it, but um, I've had to deal with it, and it's got a lot. I've my resilience is went through the roof because the fact that I had to sit beside this fella for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever after it, and I had to just get on with it. Like, you know what I mean? I couldn't be walking about like a soppy bitch. You know what I mean? I had to fucking pull the socks up, keep the head high, and get on with. You know what I mean? Even just for Team Ireland, just for the next few fights, I had to make sure that I wasn't walking about like a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? I had to make sure that I was there and helping these boys. So as I said, yes, I lost, but I learned a lot about myself as well.
Yeah, like that, because I had texted you immediately after I seen it, and I was like, I can't remember because you had mentioned something about letting people down. And I was like, you didn't let anyone down, blah blah blah, whatever. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, like I've kind of dealt with it. And then because it was fresh in my mind, but obviously I didn't take into consideration that obviously this was filmed quite some time ago, so you've obviously had to get over it. One thing I wanted to ask you as well, because you were saying obviously you're sitting there, you have the cameras on you, obviously for the next couple of weeks, or you knew they were on you and thing. When you were in the house, when you were doing your daily things, like you're just walking around, eating, chatting, were you like, how invasive, let's say, are the cameras? Do the cameramen stand back? Are the cameras hoisted somewhere? Like, are you constantly aware that they're always around you?
Yeah, you are. It's a reality TV show, so like, the cameras were always on, and it wasn't like, you sort of I'll be honest with you. So after the first few days, you sort of had to put it to the side and like just get on with it. You know what I mean? Because when we first got in, we were all like, yeah, you fuck the cameras are on. You know what I mean? You're watching what you're saying, you're watching what you're doing. But see, after a couple of days, you're like, ah, you know what I mean? Just video me. You know what I mean? I don't care what I say. I don't care what I do, and you know what I mean. So it was tiring. It was exhausting at the very start because you knew the cameras are on you and stuff like. But after a while, you get used to them. You know what I mean? Like I tell you this, me and Dennis were actually talking about this when we got home. We were like, you're looking about for you to see if there's any cameras because you're used to it. You know what I mean? Like not trying to be like fucking you know big headed or whatever, but like because you were so used to the cameras being on you and stuff. Like it was weird coming back home. You know what I mean? It was like it was just a weird. It was a weird experience coming back home. Because there'd be people walking up behind you, cameras and shit, and then you come home and then you're looking about, you go, "Where's that camera?" You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just nuts, mate. It was nuts. We just had to make sure that like we didn't say anything over the top, like you know what I mean, half of the time, because us Irish lads, we can come out with some mad shit, like so. But yeah, man, like yeah, it was a mad experience with them cameras being around you every day, 24/7, basically, like you know what I mean. So and then no phones and all that sort of like stuff as well. Like it was mad, man. Like and then that's another thing. We're so addicted to using our phones. That's what I realized about myself, and so like that was not like man, there's so many lessons with this in this show. You know what I mean? So like yeah, like I try not to use my phone as much anymore and stuff like that there because I can see what it does to you. It damages your brain in some I don't know what way, but like yeah, we're addicted to our phones and stuff, man. So those sort of wee things like just keeping your phone away and stuff and putting your phone away, is just helping me in my life as well and in my lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've noticed that as well. Obviously, with the page, I'm on it a lot. And I just say to the fact, because I don't really use my personal one, or I don't use my personal one, so it's okay. But it's not really, because my phone is absolutely hopping all hours of the day. And
Yeah,
especially when you're trying to sleep, you need to have it away. And I think I went somewhere recently like that. I think we went on a walk and we didn't have it. And you were able just to think and you were kind of free in your mind rather than, oh, did someone comment on my picture or did someone like my
yeah,
post? You were living in the moment and enjoying time like we used to do years
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
It's mad. It's like if someone loses their phone, it's like their life has been lost nowadays, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, mate, that's it. Like, you just said something really, really good there. Like living in the moment, man. Like, I think like because we're this, it's like a virtual world, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like people have their own. It's like a different fucking person on their Instagrams or their social media or whatever. So like, it's like two different lives. You know what I mean? And I feel like you have to put the phones away, man, because you need to be living in the moment. So if you're checking up on your messages, you're checking up on your comments, checking up on whatever, you're not really getting experience the now, and that's the only way the mind can be calm. If you're sitting there on your phone every 2 seconds, fucking jittery as fuck. You know what I mean? You're never experiencing the now and not living in the now, and that's one of the main things that over in that show that I realized as well. It's like, do you know what, man? I am not living in the moment. I'm not here. I'm in this fucking virtual world. I'm in my head. So stepping out of your head, man, like was a big thing. Like so, um, these phones, man, they're dangerous, mate. Like as you said, when you were younger, man, like you didn't have all this crap, and you didn't give you didn't. There was not a car in the world. Now all these phones, and it's a controlling mechanism. We're controlled by our phones, mate. You know what I mean? So yeah, like get that phone away, mate. Three or four times a day, get out the phone and do what you need to do on it. And then apart from that, now you shouldn't be on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because you remember years ago when you were kids, you'd go, "We're all going to meet here at 4 o'clock," and you all just met
Yeah,
at 4 o'clock, and
100.
no one stayed home. And if someone wasn't there, there was something wrong with them, and everyone went
Yeah,
out and you had fun. Whereas now, it's too easy to make plans, cancel plans. I think phones are the internet is one of the greatest things that's ever happened, but it's also one of the worst things that's ever happened.
100%,
Depends on
mate.
how
100%.
you use it. But anyways, we're going to just talk about yourself. Kind of, you can't give any more away. But what was your biggest takeaway? Let's say from the first episode and
Can
from
you still see me, mate?
yeah,
2 seconds here. How do you? Someone's ringing me. Right, no, all good, is it?
yeah, it's all good.
Sorry, man. Just people. Melting, man, melting.
Um, what was your biggest takeaway from your fight on that episode, or from the show as a whole? But obviously, you can't give away anything. So we'll just focus on maybe the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from that fight and that episode, and the show? If it doesn't obviously talk about something that happens.
The biggest takeaway from the fight, man, was getting used to the pro rules, the pro set, the 5 minutes. Even though it only made it a couple of 30 seconds more than the amateur rounds. So yeah, man, it's learned a lot about myself and what I need to do to be a professional athlete and to be a professional MMA athlete in terms of the 5 minute rounds and how your head needs to be and how you need to be training and how you need to be living your life as a professional athlete. That's the biggest takeaways that I got from just even the whole experience in the show, and then even if just within the fight, how that it's a different kettle of fish with amateur compared to pro rounds. Even the gloves, you can't be just getting like sometimes I thought I could take a dig no problem with the amateur gloves and I can, but like with those pro gloves, you can't be leaving that chin hanging open ready to get smacked. Like you know what I mean? Take one to give one. You know what I mean? But so those sort of wee things there. And yeah, as I said, from the show, from as a whole, being with the different athletes and with the coaches, learning that how to be a pro athlete and to live that life and how to live that lifestyle. You know, it's an all year thing. You know, it's not just, you know, an 8 week camp or whatever. It's got to be like, you're a martial artist and you need to be doing this every day of the year. And, you know, you can't be out there arsing about on the weekends or whatever and, you know, getting up to no good. Jesus, this phone boy. Can you see me?
Yeah.
It's a battery's just run out, but yes, you know, it's just that even the life and the life that if you want to be the best and if you want to be a top professional athlete, you need to behave like one and act accordingly to that lifestyle. So like that's just the major things that I took from it, even from the Team England boys, the way they live and stuff. I made sure that when I came back that I had everything in order and that I was living the best life that I could do to make sure I reached my goals as a professional athlete. And that was the biggest takeaway for myself from the show. And yeah, that was basically it, man.
It sounds like the show obviously had a positive effect on you. Obviously, the fight
100%.
wasn't positive in the result, but you had positive effect as a person and as an athlete. That it actually is giving you a new outlook on life between the phones and how you want to live your life to be a pro athlete. So that in itself is a massive take. Like that was it's a massive opportunity. We're going to see more of you obviously as the show goes on because you're still in there for the next few weeks, and I can't wait.
100.
I can't wait to watch it. I know your battery's going low, so I'm going to let you go. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
Well, no, it's just that I hope everyone's enjoying the TV show. I hope everyone's loving the Octagon Challenge. There's so much things that are going to happen in it, so everyone keep tuned, keep on watching the episodes. Yeah, and yeah, just wait and see what happens. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening for myself over the next couple of months until the end of the year. There's a few things that I'm gonna put out there as well, that I've got a bit of good news coming out as well. So outside of the cage and stuff. So yeah, everyone just keep tuned into the episodes. And yeah, thank you very much, David, for having me on. And it's been a pleasure, man. I've enjoyed enjoyed this. And yeah, everyone just keep tuned in, keep on watching the show, and let's see what happens with Team Ireland.
Perfect. And thank you very much. I appreciate your time. You were able to come on and be quite honest and like that. We've had a couple of conversations before. We need to have them more regularly, I think, because I really enjoy having a chat with you.
Are you going to Euro on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll get talking to you there, bro.
Perfect. I'll have a proper chat with you there. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm glad that the show has changed your outlook as from an athlete and a personal perspective, and that there was apart from the fight result being negative, overall it was a positive outcome for you. So I really want to thank you for the time and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, bro. Same to you.